Today, I'm going to show you where the money is and where it's going to be going forward. Stay tuned. We have a great episode of Coach's Corner planned for you. I want to welcome you to another edition of Coach's Corner on Empowerment for Successful Entrepreneurs. This is episode 58. The money is here. You're going to love this one. Today's episode is sponsored by Marketing Thunder, powerful marketing training that really booms. Get 7 days of full access for just $1. Try it out, see if you like it. I'm sure you will. If you do, you just stay a member and get access to a lot of amazing training from some of the most amazing people that I know. All right. I want to get started today. I'm real excited about talking to you about what I'm working on and what I've been doing over the past few months, and real excited about this thing that I'm going to talk about. This one area. Actually, I'm not going to tease you for very much longer on it. I'm going to give you what it is, and then I'm going to tell you why it's so big and why it's so important, and why you should be involved in it. But before I go there, I want to give you a free gift first. This is a new ebook I've written, Top 10 Marketing Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. It is a rewrite of an article that I wrote back in, I'm going to tell you this, 1991. And it was an article that had been published for nearly 20 years. Well, it needed a little sprucing up, a little updating. So I've done that. It's right, literally 3 times as long as the original article was. A lot more stuff in it, really up to date. You can get it free by going to robertimbriale.com/top 10. And that's a free download for you. Nice little gift to start the day off. Hey, why not? Well, a lot of people ask, here we are, we're in November already, and the year is quickly coming to an end, right? And you might be looking at your business and going, well, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, or I'm planning for the new year, and really should be thinking about where I want to put my attention, where I want to put my focus going forward, so that it makes the most sense and brings the most profit. Well, what you really want to do, and what I've done for many years for my clients, is I always look ahead. I look at what's going on in the marketplace. I look at where the trends are. I look at where, people are spending their money. We're in a situation now where pretty much everybody has high-speed internet. So online video obviously has exploded, as you know, over the past few years. It's really become really powerful and really useful. A lot of people are using it. I certainly use it a lot, and I know a lot of my clients do as well. But you may be asking, so where is the money going forward? Where is all this leading? It's actually very simple. I'm going to share this with you. Right now, I told you I wasn't going to hold it back. The money is in online education. That's where the opportunity is. And you might be thinking, well, online education, what do I know? I don't know a whole lot about anything. I got news for you. You know things that other people would love to know and would be great topics to create online education. And I got to tell you something, I work with so many clients in many, many different industries. And I got to tell you, there's online education model fits with almost every business. It's very rare that you can't sort of bolt this one on or add it to your existing product offerings, because it is so powerful and so useful. And I got to tell you, it is worthwhile to look at it from this perspective. Let me give you the 3 phases, how I look at any person's career. I look at it this way. Phase 1 is very simple, is the phrase that you are learning. You're in school and you're learning stuff. That's phase 1. We all been there. We know what that's about, right? Not a big deal. Phase 2 is the doing phase. That's when you're in the industry and your choice, and you're doing what you're doing. And as you're going along, you're learning, right? You're still learning. You're learning with hands-on experience. You're learning to deal with things that you would never learn in school, right? Obviously, you take your education to a whole new level when it's hands-on and you're in the industry. Obviously, that's what tends to happen. Phase 3 is teaching. And I have to tell you something, this is where the money is. So you might look at your career and might say, well, phase 1, we've all done that. We all went to school. We went to get training. We went whatever, whatever it is, we've learned our craft. We've learned the skills we've learned. Then we go out into the real world and we start to apply what we've learned. And of course, we take the knowledge that we've gained up to a new level. Now we've got better skills. We've got a whole lot of experience. And then in the 3rd phase, you take all of that content and you package it in such a way that you could sell it to other people. Now, that's where it's fun, because teaching is where the money is made. Now, don't think of this in terms of a high school teacher, right? Because they'll tell you there's no money as being a high school teacher. They're probably right about that. It's union, it's a system, it's, you can make what you can make, and that's it. Starting salary is X. The most you're ever going to make is Y. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about creating your own courses and marketing them yourselves on the internet. Now, it's really what's interesting. I was watching a video a few months back, and I saw that college professors who are making, $100,000, $150,000 a year, whatever, teaching their course. They teach the same course semester after semester. And some of them got smart, went into the video studio and taught the course on video, and are now selling the course outside of the college world. And they're making more money doing that. So it is really, it's changing the dynamic of what's out there in a big way. And what I'll do is I'll ask you a couple of questions here, because I think it is important to understand where this is coming from. So how many training videos do you watch on YouTube? If you're like me, you probably watch a bunch of them. You want to learn how to do something. The first thing you do, pop open YouTube, look for a video, look for somebody who's teaching it. Or in my case, how many podcasts do you listen to or watch every single week? I don't know. I've got maybe 30 that I subscribe to, and I rotate through them and learn from this one and learn from that one. It's always a process of learning, right? That's just the way that is. So how many paid courses have you personally bought in the past year? For me, that's quite a bit. Everything from the $10 little course, the free ebook, to the $1,000, $2,000 courses. I buy them all the time. And I've done this throughout my career. And the reason is because I want to continue to grow my education base. People go, wow, Rob, you know a lot about this, you know a lot about that. Well, yeah, to be a good coach, I really believe I have to keep my skills up to date as well. I can't just let the world kind of slide by and say, well, I've learned these skills 10 years ago, and I'm going to keep coaching on the same content. Doesn't work anymore. We're not there. We're here now, and I've got to keep my skills up to date. So I spend a lot of money on online training, and I got to tell you something. I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's fantastic to be able to do that. So the cool thing is when you know how to do something, you can turn, when you want to know how to do something, I should say, I'm going to read my own slide here correctly. Where do you turn? You turn to the internet first. We always do. All of us do that. We go to the internet first because we know that the content is there. Now, sometimes it's free. Sometimes it's on YouTube. Sometimes it's paid content, but we go there first. And it's easy because, like I said before, all of us have online access that is high speed. And we can watch videos now, where in the past, when it was just dial up in America Online, I know I'm dating myself here. You really couldn't watch videos online, but now that we have that ability, we can do this quite easily. So I believe that it's time today to really look at this and to take what you know, take your skills, your knowledge, and your experience and package it in such a way that you can sell it online. Now, one of the sort of little hidden secrets to online education is that once it is produced and once it is up on a website, you may have to pay for hosting. You may have to pay for a merchant account. But that's about it. And there really isn't much more to it. Maybe there's some customer service emails. Maybe, people who buy from you may have questions and that kind of thing. But the overhead is exceptionally low. You don't have to have the studio like I've got here. You don't have to have all the fancy stuff. You got a smartphone. You got a decent microphone. You can create online content. Online content, not necessarily video, by the way. It could also be simply audio. Of course, today it makes more sense to do video than just audio. Audio can be a little boring when you have the medium in front of you to do the video. Or it can be written. It could be written content as well. Once the front end part is done, once you've created the content, once you've got the content hosted, then your only expense at that point is marketing, right? And you can choose how much you want to market. You want to spend $20 a week on Facebook, or $50 a month on Twitter ads, or whatever it is you want to do to bring people in to buy your content. And the ad budget will change by depending on how well you do and how many sales you're getting. But there's no cost of fulfillment. Right? There's nothing to ship. There's nothing to print. Not like the old days where you had to get CDs done or books printed, and you have to have a garage full of 2,000 books, hoping that someday you'd be able to sell them. It just doesn't work that way anymore. It's actually a lot easier to do what we're trying to do as far as getting our education, getting our knowledge out there, and packaging it up in a way that it can be sold. It is a really a fun industry. And I've been in information marketing now probably since 1995-ish, maybe a little earlier than that. I've been selling information, a lot of it through direct mail early on, and then simply online later. And I've worked with a lot of different people who've sold information. I got to tell you something, the profit margins are stunning. I mean, you talk about retail, right? You think about the average retailer. You go to a grocery store, the profit margins there are really slim, right? They're, 10%, 5%, 2% sometimes. And, they make it up on the volume, right? That's the whole joke with that. And, to some extent, that's true. They sell enough of these things, they can live with a 2% markup on something or a 5% markup on something. But when you start to think about information, it is almost an infinite markup, because the truth is, the more of it you sell, the cheaper it was to produce it, right? The cost of producing it, you calculate that over the number of people that have seen it or purchased it, goes way down. So your costs go way down and your profit just keeps rising and rising. So 100% profit, well, not quite 100%. You're never going to quite get there, because you still have merchant fees, you still have hosting, and you may have a little bit of customer service, you may have some marketing in there, but how about 75% profit out of every dollar you take? You keep 75 cents. Wouldn't that be nice, right? And since there's really no cost inventory, there's no cost to do anything like that, this makes a lot of sense. This is why on the internet right now, if you're out there at all and you're trying to build your business, you're looking for online education, it is everywhere, right? It's a big marketplace. You just got to look at it and say, wow, do I partake in it? Do I buy it? Do I want to learn something? Where do I go? I go to the internet first. And what do? Do I buy a course? Do I watch a free video? Maybe I watch a free video on YouTube and it gives me this much of what I need to know, but then the guy has a course and it gives me the rest. I'll go buy the course because I want to know that skill set. We don't go to school anymore and sit through a semester to learn one little thing. We're not there anymore. Our learning is much more faster, and it's much quicker to learn things, because we have this ability to go out there and really get access to this stuff, which we never had before, which I think is really fascinating, and how quickly things have changed for us and actually become that much better. So I want you to think about this for a minute. You know something. Actually, you know a lot of things. That there are other people out there who would also like to know what you know, but don't know it yet. So, for instance, one of the things you see a lot of times with people when I ask them is like, what do you know that somebody else would want to know? I don't know anything, right? Well, the things that come the easiest to you, easiest things in the world, the things that you don't even think about, you just do them. You do them that way because you achieved a certain level of expertise. Right? So I could put together a WordPress website. I could write a sales letter. There's effort involved. I'm not going to tell you there's no effort, but it's not crazy effort for me. It's just like, okay, let me get clear on what I need to do. And I go in and I do it. And I've got a lot of skill sets that are like that, where, I've achieved some level of expertise in them and they come easier to me. And sometimes we make the mistake, and this is real important. Listen to this one. We make the mistake of thinking, if I can do it so easily, why would somebody pay me? Because they can't. I'm not good at plumbing, right? So if the sink is leaking, I don't know what to do. I might be able to figure it out. I might be able to watch a video on YouTube, but I don't have any expertise in that. I've never done it really to any extent. But the guy I hire, and the reason I would hire him, I'm hiring him for his expertise, right? He's going to come in, he's going to take one look at that and say, I've seen this 1,000 times. I know exactly what's wrong. He'll get out the tools and he'll get it done and get it fixed, and it's going to be just like new in 5 minutes, right? Maybe not quite that fast, but you get the idea. One visit and it's taken care of, it's done. So there are things that you do every single day that are easy for you. You don't have to think about them. Just do it because you're expert at it. Those are the things you got to find, you got to uncover, and you got to say, okay, what if I could package that information, that knowledge in such a way that I could train somebody else to do what I do? They may not be the expert that you are in that area. They may not ever want to become that, but they may want to learn that thing, and they'd be willing to pay for it. Like, we understand in our economy that you pay for information, right? Every one of the news sites out there are now sort of getting the idea and saying, well, you can get a little bit for free, but if you want it all, you need to pay us, either a cable subscription or you pay a subscription online, right? We're all going that way. Everything's kind of gone in that direction. So our market has been pre-trained for us that if you want good content, good education, you're going to pay for it. As simple as that. You're just going to pay for it. Not a hard thing to figure out, right? So it doesn't become hard to convince people that they need to pay you for your knowledge and your information. Now, the question you may be asking is, who wants to know what you know? And I kind of covered this a little bit. It's the people who don't know it and need it or want it, and they don't want to sit through a semester of college to try and learn some outdated information that they're going to have to add to that knowledge to be able to apply. We don't play that game anymore. That's old school. That's gone. That's kind of gone the way of the dodo bird as far as I'm concerned. So we want to go in a different direction instead. We want to get things faster. So who wants to know what you know? The people who don't know it and need to know it in order to get to a goal that they've created for themselves. Now, once you define who they are, that becomes your target market. And then you only go after those people with your message and saying, if you're trying to get leads from Twitter, I'm an expert on that. I'm going to show you how to do that. Or I'm an expert on getting leads from Facebook. Or I'm an expert at writing sales letters. Or I'm an expert at direct mail. Or I'm an expert at building websites or graphics or whatever. And I'm going to teach you how to do graphics that will really shine on your website. I'll teach you that process, the process I go through, how I match colors and sizes and textures and all the rest of that kind of thing. So we all have these gifts, we all have these skills, and those are the people who want to know who they are. So people who know less about a subject than you do are your ideal customer. So you just got to find out who those people are. What do you know? And where are the people that want to know what you know in order to get to what we would call the next step? And once you do find that, it becomes a lot easier to kind of figure out what should go in the course, how you should teach. And if you don't know what you should teach or how you should teach it, you can get help on that. And that's one of the things that I do with my clients a lot. Okay, let's keep going here. Think about what knowledge, skills, and experience you have that other people would love to learn from you. We've been talking about that the whole call today. So I kind of jumped ahead on my slide there a little bit. That's okay. If you want help figuring this out, because I know it was a challenge for me too early on. It's like, well, I know all this stuff, but who wants to know it? And I really didn't get it until somebody else pointed out to me that, Rob, you're an expert in this. I had a list, a mile long of all these things that I was an expert in. And I had a hard time figuring out who wanted to know this, right? And because it was coming so easy to me. I'm a really great coach, and I really, I've got so many different pieces that work. And marketing for me is like common sense. I don't have to think about it. It's not confusing. It doesn't make my brain go into a pretzel. It's just common sense to me. It's very easy. And so easy to me, in fact, that I don't even give it any early on. I didn't give it any pay any attention. Say, well, this is something people really want to learn. Maybe not. It's just easy for me. So it should be easy for them too, right? Well, it's not. And I think that's really where you need to get started. So what I can do for you is, if you want help with this, if you're lost and you're saying, I don't know what knowledge I know and I don't know who would be interested in it, I would like to help you figure it all out and get you started both creating and selling online education. And obviously, if you look behind me, for those of you who are watching this podcast versus listening to it, I'm in a studio, right? This is my studio, and behind there is the actual, I'm in the control room area, and behind the window there is the actual large studio where we record courses. So I would love to have you in studio and record your course with you, but it's not just the recording, because you can do that with an iPhone, right? You don't necessarily need this overhead here. But what I do that's different is I coach you through it and help you figure out exactly what you should say and how you should lay everything out and how you should break it up into segments that make sense. And, that's really the work more than it is getting on camera and recording it. Some people like to be interviewed because they're not really great looking into a camera. It's not an easy thing to do. For a lot of people, it's a challenge. So I interview you, right? We kind of co-create the course together. That's something else we can do, which will make it a lot easier for you. Also, I can help you get prepared to get on podcasts and get interviewed and get on stages for speaking and all that kind of thing. I can give you a lot of help with that as well. So I encourage you to really look at yourself, look in the mirror and say, okay, what skills, what knowledge, what experience do I have? And make a list of it. And that's what I did very early on in my career. I made a list of all the things that I knew, all the things that I could teach or I could help people with. And then I put a price next to each one. And what I found was I could easily be doing $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. And this was before my career even got started, right? And by doing these things and teaching these things. And so along my career, I've been doing that. Be it live seminars, be it podcasts, be it ebooks, be it webcasts. I've been doing that for many years now, and it's been really, 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 really successful. Now, you don't need to be great on camera. You don't need to be a great writer. You don't need to be great at any of the media side of it. What you need to be great on is the content side. If you got the content side down, there's a way to package it. You don't need to be the face on it. You can hire somebody, give them a script and put them on camera and record them and, make them deliver your content. And then you take that, package it up and sell it. And it's your content. Somebody else has spoken it. They get a small fee for being on camera for you, and you move on from there. So it's very possible to do that. Now, our sponsor today, like I said, is Marketing Thunder. And Marketing Thunder came out of this desire to say, okay, we want to create online education. We want to keep it very low cost. So in the case of Marketing Thunder, you can do $9.97 a month, or you can do $97 a year. I really encourage you to do the year, and you get a 7-day trial of it for $1. You can go in and watch the presentations, all of them, for 7 full days for just $1. If you don't like it, you cancel, you go on with your life. It's not a problem. Now, we've got great presenters in there, and more will be added all the time. I'm right now actively looking for new presenters. I've got a bunch of them on the clock, but these are the ones that are already in there. These presentations are recorded. They're available to you today. If you get in there today, those are the ones you're going to see. Getting in is very simple. You just you get your account, you log in. Very simple to do. And on the inside, you have all these categories. On the left, you got the coaching. I did a course on how to find more clients if you're a coach. There's marketing. There's information marketing. There's new media, which is things like podcasting and YouTube videos, that kind of thing. There's list building. There's publishing. If you want to write a book, I would highly suggest it. There's a fantastic presentation in there for that. And there's a success and motivation segment, and there's some extra things in there, some bonus items as well that are in the Marketing Thunder system. And I have another gift for you today. If you go to robertimbriale.com, there's an ebook there called Secrets to Wealth, and you could grab a copy of that ebook. I know that's kind of a different one for a lot of folks, but it really is eye-opening, and you start to look at where the money is and where does it come from. So I want you to go over to marketingthunder.com. I want you to go look at that and then get the $1 trial, 7-day trial. You get access to everything for $1. Certainly worthwhile to do. And if you have people in your world that you would like me to interview and bring them into Marketing Thunder, please let them know, let me know, set up the connection, and I'd be happy to do that because I'm right now looking for more trainers, more people to give courses in there, and we're going to build this thing out quite large, quite substantially, because I really believe that the money certainly is in online education, and it is also, you and I need to get educated continually. And every one of these people that have come on and I've interviewed them, they've taught me something. Some of them I've had 4 or 5 pages of notes in an hour-long presentation, some even more. But there's been just so much great content there. So online education, absolutely the direction, absolutely my direction, and I hope it is yours as well. Okay, with that, I want to say thank you so much for watching today. I will look forward to being back next week with a whole brand new podcast for you. It's a lot of fun to be here, a lot of fun to do these, and I look forward to hearing from you. If you've got questions, just email me and I will be happy to get back to you. Thanks so much, everyone. Talk to you soon.